All right. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Tonight is history class, the ISUPK, where the ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969, and what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks.
That's right.
Yeah, we know we got our oppressor's holiday coming up in a few days, or what's that, a week or so? What's that, about a week or so? Labor Day? Labor Day, I think it's about a week or so. I'm gonna say 2 weeks or something like that, right? Labor Day. It's a unholy holiday. Does anybody know how Labor Day got started? You understand? Matter of fact, let's do this, right?
Right. Next Monday.
It's next Monday? Coming up?
It's the day 23rd, right?
Yeah.
Next Monday.
Oh shit. I mean, I get the rest of the day then. Good. Man, that's good. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, not that we celebrate the oppressor's holiday, but man, it's good to get a rest. You know what I mean? From all of our oppressor's slavery that he's putting us through. You understand? Let me ask you a question, right? What was all right, listen. Labor Day, what was the cause of Labor Day? What was the cause of Labor Day? Why did Labor Day begin? I want to go we're gonna go real far back into Labor Day. What was the cause of Labor Day?
Something getting Labor Day. What's that one? Memorial Day makes sense. All right, so Labor Day.
Right.
I believe Labor Day was that's when our oppressor wanted he was tired that we just got out of so-called slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And we had all the skills.
Right.
We were taking all of the jobs because like crackers, they had no skills. All they knew how to do was command.
That's a result. But the cause of Labor Day. Okay. It was the cause. See, Labor Day, think about this, right? When you're looking at Labor Day, right? We know, Labor Day, because we had all the work, we was getting all the work and all that type of stuff like that. But it's something that really caused Labor Day to really go into effect. It's a thing that caused Labor Day to go into effect.
Okay, was it? They had to build unions in order to say if you're not in this union,
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting no job.
A little more than that. Think about this, right? Labor Day was actually started by slavery. Labor Day was started by slavery. Why was it started by slavery? Think about this, right? Because you really don't, when you look at it, because like, all right, when you look at something, you say, all right, what caused the fire? What caused the fire, right? What caused the fire? Well, they say it was electrical fire. Well, what caused it? Electrical fire was the cause, but how did that electrical problem happen? Right. Because the toaster was plugged up and had a faulty wire. How did the faulty wire get caused? Because the wire got broken some kind of way and the wires was coming out causing sparks. So the sparks is what really caused the fire from the broken wire, but it goes all the way back to an electrical fire. So when you're looking at the labor union, right? The labor union was actually caused by slavery. How was it caused by slavery?
If I could, so I'm gonna but take a guess and say because due to slavery, by us being taught all of the skill, like by us being taught how to work with everything, maybe like the people that actually taught us probably died off something, and then so they ain't there no more. So now it's only we are the teachers. Now we telling everybody else what to do.
Broken wires, right? Think about this, right? It's caused by slavery because of free labor in the South. Remember, the North has always been rich. That's where the 13 colonies started up in the North. So they already had a jump on the whole society of America. People began to move down south. Land was free then. Why was it free? Because nobody could do anything with land down there. Couldn't really do anything with land until you put slaves on it. Yeah. Our oppressor was lazy. Our oppressor not tilling the ground. Our oppressor's not building houses or anything. Our oppressor's not planting seed. Our oppressor's not going out there and harvesting. It's too hard. You understand what I'm saying? So once you put slaves on that land, then that land becomes valuable. It's not the value in the land, it's the value in the slaves. So now you got free labor. Right? So now what happened was, by them sending slaves down the south and building down the south and doing everything for free down the south, and those people who had those slaves down in the south didn't pay those slaves anything, that's free labor. So now, as you're building and building and building, now the South is beginning to grow. The North is already up here. And every year, the South began to come up. It came up so much so that the South began to say, we can be our own nation. That's how the Civil War started. And the Civil War started because now the Union wanted to break away from, the nation and be their own nation, or not the Union, but the Confederates. That's the Confederacy. The South wanted to break away from the Union, but Abraham Lincoln wanted to keep the Union together. What did Abraham Lincoln say in his speech?
If he could free all the slaves and maintain the Union, we would do it. And if he didn't have to free any of them,
he said if he could release half of them, he would.
Right. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it wasn't about the slaves; it was about keeping the Union together. But the slaves made the South rich to the point that we could be North and South America. We could run this part, y'all could run that part. We could have our, but Abraham Lincoln keeping the Union together, keeping everything together, whether he freed the slaves or whether he didn't. So now you have the Civil War, right? And then what happened in the Civil War?
They got slaves to actually fight.
You got fights, you got the South being destroyed. Everything down in the South is being destroyed. Everything, you got things in the North being destroyed too, but mostly the South suffered. Then he wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, right? The Emancipation Proclamation did what? So-called freed the slaves. So now that you have slaves running from the South going up to the North, then that makes all of that equity and everything that you was making down there, now that it's starting to dwindle. That's what they was fighting over. So now we get into the part that you was talking about. So now after the Civil War, after the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, people found out in the South 1865, right? After they found out about that, then they made the 13th Amendment. We can give y'all a 13th Amendment, right? Whatever you do, blah, 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 black codes, Jim Crow laws and things like that. But let's keep it back here, right? Just like you said before, right after the emancipation, all of the skilled workers, because of all of those years, hundreds of years of slavery, caused us to have those skills.
Right.
Carpenters, the plumbers, electricians, and everything like that. The creative minds was coming out in us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Not to mention, remember, you still had free blacks that had little small cities and towns all around America. It wasn't big, but during that emancipation, now they become expanded because now people are leaving, slaves are leaving and going to those cities and towns and finding stuff. So now you got the slaves being the skilled workers or the artisan workers, the ones with all of those skills to do that. So as a Southern white, right? If you want to rebuild, who do you hire?
Emancipated slave.
An emancipated slave. Why do you hire an emancipated slave?
Because he got the skills that I don't have.
But it's more than that.
Oh, it's not cheap labor.
Cheap labor. Exactly. Because you had oppressors with those skills too.
Yeah.
Not as good, but still they had those skills too.
Right.
But you can't pay an oppressor 1/4
right.
of what you would pay, you understand, a slave. So when you looking at it, right, you're like, dang, this nigga just got finished doing this work for free.
Right.
Now I can give him a couple of dollars and boom, be good. So now think like this, right? If a oppressor come to you and just say, I'm just throwing a number out there, $4,000, and you say, dang, I can give him $1,000 and get the job done the same way. What are you going to do? Right? So now, all of a sudden, by 1865, everybody starting to get their stuff rebuilt. Well, I can get slaves to do it cheaper. It ain't gonna cost me a whole lot. I can get it built back up and boom, I'll be good.
Right.
So when you go through 6 years of that, from 1865 all the way to 1871, oppressors get fed up now. In 1871, they started the National Labor Union. In 1871, all white labor union. You had to be white to be in the labor union. You understand? So now, if you pass laws that say that any of these skilled laborers have to be backed by a union and have to be in a union, they have to be in a union to even do that kind of work. Right. And think about this, right? Just like I was telling my rib the other day, right? It was a time where you could do hair and not have to worry about it. You could get paid for doing hair. Now you can't even get paid for doing hair unless you got a license. When you had to get a license to do hair.
Right. Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So one exploit leads to another exploit leads to another. Think about it. You could come over and fix somebody's refrigerator for free. But now you can't even do that without a license. You can't even work on, well, you're not supposed to. You understand? Work on cars, or your warranty is not valid if you get somebody, that's not licensed to do it. You understand? That's the whole purpose of the labor union. So you start in the labor union and you exploiting blacks out of the labor union. Not only that, now you got the 13th Amendment too. So if you look at it, right, what was the cause of slavery? Civil War. You understand? The Civil War or slavery. Slavery that led to the Civil War, that led to the breakup of the Union, or the almost breakup of the Union, that destroyed a lot of the country. Now you need to rebuild.
Right.
And in rebuilding, you realize that the crippling thing is Abraham Lincoln tried to cripple the South by emancipating the people in the South. You understand? And then knowing that if they get emancipated, they're going to quickly run up to the North.
Right.
And now you don't have anything down South. But guess what? the people down south still got paid for the slaves being emancipated.
Yeah.
They still got paid for the slaves being emancipated. Labor Day is a horrible day for us because it moved us out of the work industry in any kind of way. Of course, we were slaves at the time, but then they created a labor union to further push us out. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So now that's how you started having all those black cities and towns really start flourishing, because black people couldn't go anywhere but to those cities and towns. But what was even more horrible than that is a lot of those free blacks that lived in those cities and towns at that time looked down on black people, on so-called emancipated black people. And that's the problem with us today. And to celebrate a labor union is just a celebration of the destruction of black people. Think about it, right? All of those cities and towns are gone today. Why?
Integration.
Integration, but let's go with what we here for today, not following law, statutes, and commandments.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The oppressor, just like we was reading those, we read that article earlier, right, with Shador Sanders, right? The oppressor causes all of these things to do because this is what the oppressor does. You send out a memo to the whole NFL and tell everybody in the NFL not to pick this player. And then a player that was projected to go number 1, number 2 in the first round drops all the way to the 5th round at pick 133. Unheard of. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the thought process of our oppressor. Think about this, right? What's the scripture? Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 16. Ecclesiasticus, verse 12 and 16. Let me get to that. We got a couple of wrinkles to iron out.
12, 16.
Come on, let me get to it.
No, good. All right, if I could, like, what could it seemed like, you know what I mean, with all these black cities, these like flourishing black cities and how they were destroyed. It seemed like, well, before they were destroyed, when they were flourishing, they were doing good.
Right.
It seemed like that was like the Most High trying to give us a tip, like, okay, I know they put y'all, you know what I mean, they ain't trying to do nothing right by y'all, but
right,
y'all can do this by yourself.
Right.
If y'all just gather together.
Right.
But like you said,
no, go ahead, finish.
Nah, like you said, like it was still we wasn't together. It was still they were looking down on other black.
Right.
And which probably that's the, you know, it was brought it with the Most High, him allowed them to go ahead and destroy it.
Right.
Like, damn, these niggas don't get it.
Right. Don't get it, right? And that's the problem even with us today. Look at us today. When you look at all of those reality shows with black people on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing that they live on and they stand on?
Their money?
Yeah, their money and being better than everybody else. It's no different than Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's no different than Rosewood.
Right.
It's no different than Seneca Village. You understand? Think about this. If they was living and standing on what the Most High said, they would be here today.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But just like us today, we standing on we're better than them.
Right.
So what do you need? You know, it's bad enough that the oppressor looks down on you, but then you turn and look down on your brother. That makes you the oppressor. We take on the characters and the culture and the customs of our oppressor. So what does the Most High do? He turns around and lets that very oppressor destroy us. Think about it, right? If you had that many cities, black cities and towns around America, everywhere, how do they all get destroyed?
Right.
How do we all lose our land like that? You understand what I'm saying? Because We not following the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
We not doing what the Most High does. Just like you said before, gather yourself together, O nation, not desire. We think about this, right? You watch Atlanta Housewives, you see how they down each other, right? But then that white oppressor be on there talking to him, and they take everything that he said. You understand? But they turn to each other and rip each other apart.
Right.
This is what we do. You understand? And it's no different than those black cities and towns. If not, they'd be standing today. Gather yourself together, O nation, not desire. When you say gather yourself together, it's like being on the same accord. When we come in, when people come in, you welcome them and say, listen, I know what you've been through. I know what it's like. Come on in. We're going to help each other. We're going to do this. We're going to have this. We're going to keep them away from us and boom, like that. Gather yourself. And they understand that we are a nation of people, not desire. You look at, it's this show my rib was watching, right? And they were showing black people back in the 1800s, black people with money, right? So you had a black family that had money. Then you had a black family who the father used to be a slave, but he came up and had his own general store and everything.
Right.
But because he was a slave, they looked down on him. And because they looked down on him, they didn't want their son to marry his daughter. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's crazy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's how it is today.
Yeah.
Oh, what you with him for? He ain't got no money.
Yeah.
And listen, if you watch that, I forgot which show it was, right, that my rib was watching, but the only thing the sister could say on there was, yeah, my husband bought me a Bentley. He bought me a Bentley. You know what I mean? And that was it. What kind of car you driving? Oh, you driving a Mini Cooper? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm looking at seeing the movie, the Eight Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
And on there, they had it was a sister that she owned a haberdashery.
Right.
And she had a sign up on there. So of course she must have been a doing well black woman. So she had a sign up on her at the front door.
Right.
It said no hats. You can't wear no hat because they took over the haberdashery. Like some dudes took it over.
Right.
And it was a dude. It was a Mexican dude in there.
Right.
That was helping to take over. But so Samuel Jackson, he like, you mean to tell me you see that sign over there? He like, what sign? He said the sign right there. It said no hats. The Mexican dude had a hat on.
Right.
He said there's a no hat sign rule that she got, and no dogs allowed.
Right.
He like, and no Mexicans.
Right.
He's like, what happened? One rule she changed. Like she started letting dogs in.
Right.
Like it's like what I mean, and it's just like you can feel that type of energy because it's like black people is like that today with Hispanics. Right. Like we still think that we think now we thinking like the oppressor thought back then when we first got out of chain. Right. That we taking the jobs. Right. Like we doing the job that needs to be done.
And it's a reverse. We look at each other the same way. And the thing is, they keep the animosity against us. You understand what I'm saying? So we looking at Hispanics like they coming to take our jobs.
Right.
That's something that the oppressor put out there.
Right.
Let's think about this, right? If you think about it, right? How many of us want to go work in a Popeyes?
Right.
How many of us want to go out there in the field and pick cabbage? How many want to pick cucumbers? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so somebody got to explain to me what jobs they taking. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing about it is the oppressor paints this picture. But the thing is he not giving us the jobs, he giving them the job.
Right.
They're not taking it, it's being given to them. Right. And then the thing about it is a job that we ain't even gonna do. So that's why I keep asking people like, what jobs are they taking that they taking our job? Like which ones? You know what I mean? Right. Which ones?
And you know what's so heavy about the witchcraft or just that doctrine is because my stepson,
right?
This dude, he didn't look for a job. He didn't want a job.
Right.
But he came with this whole rhetoric about how the Mexicans are taking the job. I said, what? What job did you apply for? Yo?
Right.
What job did they take it for? I had to run the whole history down to him. But it's like he's not even in the workforce.
Right.
And he got that mentality. Somebody told him that.
No, but you know what it is? This is the thing, right? Because we don't want to work, we need an excuse. And they taking all the jobs. Man, I ain't even, you know what, man, I ain't even going out there. I ain't gonna waste my time. They taking all the jobs, man. This is a travesty, man. It's a travesty.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's not even, and the thing about it, when you look at it, it's not even like they taking jobs that we want, right?
Right.
Go ahead. Let's hit that scripture real quick.
This is Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
Listen, and this is what we're talking about right here. You understand? They sit and they tell us, well, they put that bug out there that, oh, they taking all of the jobs. Because, listen, it started with the oppressor.
Right.
The oppressor was the first one that started saying that they come and taking our jobs.
Right.
And the problem with us is we pick up what the oppressor picks up and we run with it. Oh, they're taking our job. Oh, they taking our job. Shoot, they taking out because we think we American.
Right. Hey.
Who taking our job? He ain't taking our job. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I said, who wants to be out there? Listen, they showed. You ever see How It's Made? It's a show that come on How It's Made.
God.
They showed
the doctor's office always.
Listen, they showed how they make pickles. Picking the cucumbers out in the field. They showed the Hispanics out there picking the cucumbers. They showed how they made coleslaw. They showed the Hispanics out in the field covered up in the summertime.
Right.
Picking cabbage.
Right.
They showed them picking apples and oranges. You understand what I'm saying? And sorting them.
Right.
No, that's not jobs that we want to do. We've been in the field for a long time. And I don't think that's the job that we're not looking for them jobs.
Right.
And if you look and think about it, right? Even the Hispanics that's here, a lot of the ones that's being deported, even the brother that's being deported, one of the brothers that's being deported, right? His family said he started a whole a lawn care business.
Right.
That he had his kids being involved with him. One of these brothers that's being deported. I saw that last week.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? A lot of them starting their own businesses from the bottom. You understand what I'm saying? So I know that can't be the jobs that they taking.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So we listening to the rhetoric of the oppressor. It says, an enemy speaks sweetly with his lips. When they talk that stuff falls right on our ears and it sinks right in.
Right.
And we pick it up and we spit that same evil back out. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Go ahead.
And even if it don't make sense, it's like nobody ever says, yo, them Arabs or the East Indian people in Dunkin' Donuts, they taking all the jobs. They taking all. It's been Dunkin' Donuts in America forever. Nobody said they taking all the jobs. They bringing in the nobody said the Africans are taking all the gas stations.
Gas stations and shit like that.
You know, yeah, nobody never say that. They pick the places.
And they pick the dumbest battles. We picked the dumbest battles. And listen, it's not that we stupid or we dumb, but when we pick up the thought process of our oppressor, our oppressor thinks like a child. And what happens is when we begin to be like our oppressor, we begin to think like a child too. We deductive reasoning is nowhere in our thought process.
Right.
We don't say like, hold up, let me think about the jobs that they take. Because like, I worked at McDonald's before. You know what I mean? But right now in my life, man, I'm not looking to work at no McDonald's. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to work at no Popeyes. I'm not looking to pick no cabbage. I'm not looking to pick cucumbers. You understand? I know that it's jobs out here. It's just the oppressor's not giving them to us.
Right.
It's not that somebody's taking them. It's just that they're not being given to you because of who you are.
Right.
You understand? And what I do is I hate both of y'all, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna give it to him so that you look at him funny, and then he look at you funny, and then y'all be at each other, and then I'm in the middle standing back watching you kill each other. And it's the same thing that we do with our own people.
Yeah.
As soon as we see one of us get up, man, he think he all that.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, just because he got that. Oh, now he got a little house now, so he think, oh yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what happens with us. You understand? Because our whole thought process is like the oppressor. It says right here again, the enemy speaks sweetly with his lips. All he has to do is say something, and we take it and we run with it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But in his heart, but in his heart, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit.
Now think about it, right? When he has both of us at each other's throat, that's him throwing us into a pit. You understand what I'm saying? When he has us running out here robbing people, that's him throwing us into a pit. When he has us backstabbing our own brothers and sisters, that's him throwing us into a pit selling drugs to our brothers and sisters. We see that all day downtown when we go downtown.
Right.
We see our brothers throwing each other into a pit. Or we see the oppressor throwing us into a pit by doing his bidding. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then if he can get you to sell drugs to your brother and destroy your brother, then he lock you up. That's a 2-for-1. The oppressor been working on a 2-for-1 for years, for many years.
Right.
You understand? Think about this. Even as unemancipated slaves, when you heard about somebody doing a what they called it a revolt, a slave revolt. It was always one slave that had to give that revolt up. You understand what I'm saying? Throwing us into a pit. Listen, our oppressor has been throwing us into a pit for a long time. For a long time. The Haitian Revolution was the only thing good we had to look forward to or look at now. You understand what I'm saying? Because everything else was thwarted. Everything else was destroyed by us. Because we listened to the sweet words of our oppressor, but he imagined how to throw us into a pit, and that's what he does. And that's what he's doing today.
Right.
Celebrating this Labor Day, though, is us celebrating our own destruction.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You celebrating your own destruction by celebrating Labor Day. Celebrating any of the oppressor's holidays is celebrating the destruction of Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But this particular holiday coming up was an evil holiday coming up. The labor unions got started to keep us out of the labor force. Now, think about this. You keeping us out of the labor force, then you create black codes to re-incarcerate us and put us back into slavery. The 13th Amendment. If you look up the 13th Amendment, right? If you look up Abraham Lincoln and the 13th Amendment, it talks about Abraham Lincoln as if he was such a hero, right? Oh, he had no slaves. He thought it was so immoral to have slaves and things like that. Not only did he think it was immoral, but he created the 13th Amendment so that it would be easier for blacks, you understand, to do whatever. You understand? 13th Amendment makes sure we go back into slavery.
Yep.
Because we don't have jobs. You understand? We don't have jobs. And now you create the 13th Amendment. We don't have $1 in our pocket, we get locked up. We get caught with our ID, we get locked up. 3 or more, you get locked up back into slavery. Free labor now.
Yeah.
It's what they're doing to us in prison now. Free labor. Think about all of those wildfires going on in California and all these other places. They got prisoners fighting wildfires.
Yeah.
And every time we come in here and we talk about it, right? I always talk about how back when I was young, they used to always have a firefighter count of how many firefighters got perished in these wildfires. Well, by the early 2000s, you stopped hearing that. because they started filling up these prisons, start using these prisons. Hence, you'll never hear of a firefighter being unalived in a wildfire ever again. You ain't gonna never hear it. Think about it. Technology ain't changed that much that makes them invulnerable to fires. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's happening? Because think about it, right? When you become property of the state, you don't have to be reported to anybody because you're property of the state. So when you celebrate Labor Day, you're celebrating the destruction of blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
Yeah, because it said it exploited blacks and Hispanics. It moved Hispanics out of the workforce too. All white labor unions, non-whites. So you got us hating us and the oppressors standing back watching us destroy each other. And then you're gonna celebrate Labor Day, go out, eat some hot dogs and hamburgers, wear red, white, and blue hat and all that old type of bull crap. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go ahead, finish reading that.
God. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
Hey, listen, he gonna act like he's sympathizing with you. He gonna act like he hurt. You understand? Oh, how can we think about this, right? Everything that's happening with Trump bringing in the military into DC and all of these other cities that he's supposed to be bringing in. And even in Baltimore, they said, I didn't even know this. They said Baltimore is at an all-time low in violence.
Right.
But when something happens in Baltimore, they blow it up and make it seem like it's a real. I'm not saying that it's not an issue, but they make it seem bigger than it is. Not that it's not big. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's an issue.
Right.
But as a city at an all-time low, why would you send a military force here? You already got corrupt police here. So now you're sending a corrupt military force. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if the police got amnesty, what does the military force got?
Mm.
It don't matter what they do. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where you're going to get your World War III at. It's going to be in the... Listen, America has been in every war since the Civil War. Revolutionary War. Let's go back that far, right? That's the only one. And we're going to skip the Revolutionary War and the Civil War because that was here and that was them fighting them here, right?
Right.
But every war after that America has been in, and nobody has hit the soil of America with a single rocket or bomb, right?
Right.
They hit Pearl Harbor, but that was in Hawaii. That don't count. America doesn't know destruction. America doesn't know war. All those other nations know war, but war is going to hit these shores of America.
Right. Right.
Our oppressor going to go down hard. And this is the thing. Brothers and sisters think you know war, but you don't know war. You understand? Bloods and Crips, y'all think y'all know war. Y'all think y'all know war. Y'all don't know nothing. I just hope if it happens, I want to see you war like you war against your own brothers and sisters.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? But Lord willing, we're going to be here.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Lord willing, we won't be here. But that's our minds. We listen to the sweetness and the sweet speakings that come off the lips of our oppressor, and we soak it all up. And then we spew it back to our brothers and sisters in evil. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen, the first all-white labor union was the NLU. the national labor. I got to make sure I got that right. I could be saying that right. Let me make sure I got that right. The NLU, the National Labor Union, in 1871. 1871, you had to be white to be in the National Labor Union. If you wasn't white, you couldn't be in it. If you wasn't in it, you couldn't do any plumbing. You couldn't do any carpentry work. You understand? You had to be licensed. You had to be under their rulership. That's how they try to capture back. You understand? And remember this too, right? Even all the way up, and think about it, right? That was the one time that we had to look at each other as our salvation. You understand? But still, like I said, and still, we still look down on each other. We get a little bit and we look down on each other. We see brothers do it every day. When they get a little something, we better than you. I'm better than you. You understand what I'm saying? And the Most High says, gather together, meaning come together, be on the same accord. We have to show brotherhood. We have to show love to our brothers and sisters. Showing when you show evil to your brothers and sisters, that's only destruction to yourself. Hate to a brother, and you turn around and you show love to the oppressor. What is that? Fighting to get into the oppressor's restaurants. It's fighting to sit at his counter. Right. You understand? Right. Now you think about this, right? It was horrible for Martin Luther King to want to sit with the oppressor and not sit with your own people. Because if you want to sit with the oppressor, you fighting to sit with the oppressor as opposed to going on and sitting with your brothers and sisters. You rather go use the oppressor's toilet like they porcelain better. Right. You understand? Drink from their fountains like the water colder. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how we think. You ever heard somebody say, man, I want to live out there with white people live. I don't want to be around my people because we don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Well, that's that spirit. That's the spirit of the oppressor. Right. You understand? Speaking sweetly with his lips. So much so now that we speak against our own people. We horrible. We horrible as a nation. You understand? Not the UPK, but us as a nation, as a whole, we horrible. And it's surprising that the Most High haven't destroyed us already, but the Most High has a plan. Okay. World War III is on the way right now. You understand? Okay. World War III is on the way. Think about it, right? What was my question? Micah 2:1. We finished that one, right? Okay. Yeah. Micah 2:1. Let me get there too. You know something. And I know I'm looking past it. My eyes, man. I gotta get some glasses. Man. And my red bee, she be driving me, man. She be cracking on me, but she know I can't see. Yeah. Yeah. That might be I can see, man. It's like stuff be getting past me though. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's might like a headache. Huh? Might help with the headache. Yeah, I need glasses. I do. And I be bull jogging around. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of times I be getting these headaches. Oh, okay. Sometimes it's because I don't eat, but then a lot of times because of my eyes. Right. Yes. I'll be all right. You know, that's what she keeps saying. Yeah, you keep on saying it. That's what we all say. I'll be all right. You know, why you keep worrying about me? Why you worry about you? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But she be right, though. She right. You got that? Okay. Go ahead. Let's go.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity.
Hey, listen, what does that word woe mean? That word woe means destruction.
Okay.
And it says destruction to them that devise iniquity. And listen, devising iniquity is making those black codes.
Okay.
You understand? Jim Crow laws. You understand? Redlining, child support.
Right.
You understand? Taking a license because of child support.
Right.
And think about it, right? And we always say this, right? What does child support have to do with driver's license? And then the thing about it is, this is the devised iniquity, right? Is when you know if you take his license, he can't get to that job that can help him pay that child support, only for you to lock him up and get free labor out of him. Not only that, you take his woman, now she got to get welfare, be in a welfare system, and now you got that welfare system driving, because you know they still be charging dudes child support even when they locked up.
Right. Yeah. That's great.
That's devising iniquity right there.
Oh, okay.
You understand? That's a beast. And we looking at this beast as if he's fair. You understand? And I always tell people justice is not blind.
Right. Right.
Justice knows who to persecute and who not to persecute. Justice got that thing up just like this.
Right.
Got that one eye looking right at you just like this.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, that's a nigga right there. Yeah, persecute him. Oh, let him go. You know what I mean? That's how it be.
Good. Good.
That's how it be. We think justice is blind. Justice has never been blind, especially when it comes to us. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say if justice is blind, she got a hell of a sense.
Right.
She can smell it.
Right. Smell it.
She
Yeah.
already know what it is, man.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Okay. And work evil upon their bed.
Hey, listen, they lay in bed at night thinking about the evil that they can work on us.
That's right.
Listen, you remember the first day of school, you had a fresh new outfit you wanted to get, boy, you couldn't wait to get up the next day to put that outfit on, boy, you up extra early, like making sure well, that's how they think of evil when it comes to pushing evil against us.
Mm-hmm.
That's that feeling that they have. They can't wait to use this evil device against us. Think about the person who created child support. Think about the person and even the welfare system. And the crazy thing is us as Blacks and Hispanics, we believe we using the most welfare than anybody else, when that's not the truth. White people use more welfare, way more welfare than we use. We only use a few percent of the welfare. Not to mention, think about it, right? You got a lot of people getting $300-400 a month, $700 a month, but then you got oppressors getting like thousands. Not to mention the welfare that they give oppressor farmers, white farmers.
Mm.
And the $500 million that they held up for black farmers, since Trump first term, they still holding that $500 million. Remember when COVID hit? Trump was the president when COVID hit. Because he talking about, just let them drink some bleach. Right. Dumb stuff, right? But they was they withheld $500 million from black farmers. Black farmers still waiting on that money today. Right. They don't listen. We hardly make a dent in the welfare system. Only reason why we think we do, because we only see us in the welfare offices that they send us to. Right. But if you go out to Pikesville, they got a section called cross country out in the back. It looked like a whole different world. You got the so-called small hat, the Jewish man lived back there. They got parking lots of baby strollers, Parking lots only made for baby strollers at their synagogues. Parking lots bigger than this classroom right here. You see nothing but strollers lined up. Everything. You go to the shoppers out there where they at, you see all of them with the EBT card. They got thousands of dollars on their EBT card. Thousands. Our sisters struggle. And this is the reason why we have to build our own society.
Right.
To take care of our own.
Oh, okay.
Because without us, they fall. You understand? Without us, they fall. Listen, they pushed us out of the labor force in a way. You understand what I'm saying? They pushed us out of the labor force, creating labor unions to exploit us. Then by the time they let you come in, you understand you got to pay dues. You got to pay this. You got to do that. How do you know you're not paying? You paying the same prices that those white dudes over there?
Right.
You understand? You ever been at a job and they say y'all can't discuss pay on the job?
Like every job, right?
Yeah, they discuss that. Why did they say that?
They don't want you to.
They don't want you to know what you making and what he making.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? It's all kinds of, listen, this is the iniquity that they devise in their beds. Yo, how can I get over?
Yeah.
How can I do this and not let them know that I'm doing that? Let me create this law where they can't talk to each other. Hey, I had a cleaning contract right downtown on Cathedral, right? Had that for about 10 years. A black girl was talking to an East Indian girl about how much she was making. The East Indian girl went back, told the supervisor, and they fired the black girl. No discussing pay on the job. They giving you this amount of money, but you doing all of this work. And then, black girls, they want to know, well, why am I? So how much you making?
Yeah.
You understand that? Blah, 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 blah. And they fired. Yep. Fired them. Because when they're getting over on you, and think about it, right? This was a black charity.
Damn. Okay.
For black people.
Damn.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it's under the oppressor's umbrella. So you got all of these charities under this one big charity. What's that big charity name? What's the name of it?
Lucy, not Lucy.
I want to say not UNICEF, but it's a charity, the main number one charity in America. All of those other charities are break-off charities up under it. You looking it up?
Okay. Feeding America.
No,
It came up as the first one.
No. It's another name. It's a name because they had a chart that showed all of the charities that was under this one charity. I know the name if I see it.
Yeah, full top 10 of yeah. That Feed America keeps coming up.
Feed America.
Small, it's not.
What charity you know?
What's that? The only thing that popped in my head is, and I don't even know if that still exists, Ronald McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a charity too.
I can't think.
But anyway, it's all run by one charity.
Salvation Army.
That's a charity though, but it's not. It's like a. I know it. I wanted to say UNICEF, but it's not that.
UNICEF.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, but it's not. I don't think it's UNICEF. But anyway, these are the. What did you guys say?
Nah, I see UNICEF is down, but it's way at the 5.
Right.
You got, even on this list, is Doctors Without Borders,
No,
American Red Cross.
it's a number. It's a well known. If you say it, you be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But anyway, this is the evils that they work upon their beds. You understand? Just like creating a labor union. You understand? And then the thing about it is we celebrate Labor Day like it was a great thing. And they make it seem like, oh, we were fighting for wages and better pay, less working hours and things like that. But think about this, right? They were fighting for that back in 1866, right? Where was we at in 1866?
Change.
Yeah, we was on. I mean, we were just coming out, right? But they definitely wasn't fighting for nothing for us. You understand? They definitely wasn't fighting for nothing for us. You understand? That's a fight that they've been doing for a long time, fighting for better wages, less hours. You understand? Child exploitation, but they exploited our children right out there in the field.
Right. Oh, God.
So it had nothing to do with us. It was all about them. You understand what I'm saying? And then we have to recognize these holidays that we celebrate that the oppressor has created. A lot of us don't even understand the consequences of us celebrating these holidays,
right?
Especially being in iniquity with the Most High. You understand? And adding sin upon sin, because we train our children to do the same thing.
Right.
We bring them up saying, hey, listen, this is what we're doing today because of this day. I need you to do this. I need you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go get hot dogs and ham. And then the thing about it is you make it such a joyous occasion that children never forget.
Right. Right.
And children, like I was when I was young, man, I can't wait till I get old so I can celebrate that. And I can do the same thing with my kids.
Right.
Adding sin upon sin. Teaching our children to celebrate unholy days as our oppressor. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead. It says when the
that's right. When the morning is light, they practice it.
Yeah, and once they get up out of them beds, once they get up out of them beds and morning time comes, they can't wait to practice it. They can't wait to practice it, man. Listen, we are exploited as a people. Look at what ICE is doing now.
Right.
You understand? They can't wait to get to the Home Depot to collect all our brothers sitting out there waiting to do work.
Right. Right.
They can't wait to practice it. Once it's light, they can't wait to practice it. You understand? They can't wait to see brothers standing on the corner selling their poison.
Right.
These are devices that they created to create a condition to have an outcome that they want. Free labor. Brothers out in front of Home Depot waiting to get work. Free labor. Keep us in chains. Basically, that's what it is. And every time we think like them, that's our minds being in chains. Now, we ain't got the chains on our hands or our legs no more, but it's our minds.
Mm-hmm.
It's our minds that think that the Hispanics are taking our job. It's in our minds to think that the Hispanics thinking we taking something from them. They have us fighting against each other. Well, we should be fighting against our oppressor, not physically fighting, but removing ourselves from the oppressor's world.
Right.
That's the problem with us. If we can remove ourselves from the oppressor's world, we'd be great. We'd be a great people. We already a great people, but it would show. You understand what I'm saying? It would definitely show. With that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. With that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Al-Azhar.
These are security announcements. We're the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're here to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. He's 10th in the Hebrew and it's pronounced Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, we got the memorial of blowing of the trumpets, which is September 21st. Come down to the school, 3430 Eastern Avenue. Come down. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have strong. We're gonna have brotherhood, sisterhood. You know what I mean? Come on down. Check us out, man. Just make sure you check in on ISPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, and so forth for ISPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. And with that, we'll get one courteous salute to the teacher, Mr. Israel Amadi, Maya Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahshua,
Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Yazmatah, class dismissed.